Hi, I'm Fiona, founder and lead consultant at Yellow Tree Wellbeing. In this short video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to improve your emotional intelligence. Here at Yellow Tree, we specialise in learning and development to improve employee wellbeing and business performance. And here are some of the ways that we do this, alongside some of our specialist topics. The Yellow Tree team are all qualified specialists with many years of experience, so you can trust that you're in safe hands with us. The strategies, techniques, and models that we share are drawn from the latest research and evidence, so they're proven and effective. And our high quality and pragmatic delivery ensures your people can apply these skills, knowledge, and tools easily and quickly for long-lasting results. Alongside our training, coaching, and webinars, we offer emotional intelligence assessment using the 2 most robust, reliable, and powerful tools available. They're suitable for individuals or teams, and these assessments measure your actual EQ level, your emotional quotient, and they're a fantastic springboard for your development. Now, the model I'll be using today is the Mesquite. But let's have a look at how we define emotional intelligence. This definition comes from Susan David, one of the leading figures in the world of emotional intelligence. And this is the 4-part model, which is adapted from the original Mesquite theory, adapted by Susan David, the original theory being by Meyer and Salovey. And this depicts the 4 main branches of the Mesquite model. Recognizing or perceiving emotion is all about our ability to identify how we are feeling, as well as being able to pick up on the feelings of others, both individuals and groups, and the ability to recognize emotion in the environment. And this could include emotion in artwork or music. Second, we have using emotion, which refers to the knowledge that emotions affect thinking, as well as the ability to switch between moods. And it's this area which covers empathy. Understanding emotion is all about identifying the emotional complexity in what we're feeling, understanding that emotions are caused by certain factors and what's caused those emotions and how they will change over time. It's also about understanding the unique blend of emotion that we might be feeling. And finally, managing emotion is referring to our ability to feel the way that we want to feel, to achieve the optimal emotional outcomes. So why is it important that we improve or even use our emotional intelligence? I've listed on the slide here a number of ways that we can apply our emotional intelligence in the workplace. And you'll see that there's a real variety of areas where emotional intelligence can help us to get a better result. You'll see examples which might be more useful if you're a manager of people, examples if you work mostly alone, examples which are perhaps more practical and task focused, and then those which are more about us as individuals. And these are just some of the ways that we can apply our emotional intelligence at work. Let's now look then at how we can improve our emotional intelligence. I've got 3 tips for you in this short video. Here is tip 1. First thing I want you to do is to pay more attention. And what I mean by this is to pay attention to other people's faces, firstly. The face is a very reliable predictor of how we feel. It's a really reliable indicator. It's much more reliable than looking at body language, for example, which is not so universal and can be more easily manipulated. So if you want to know how people are feeling, study their faces, make good eye contact. Secondly, you can also pick up emotions from the environment. So pay attention to the atmosphere. I'm sure you've all had that experience of walking into a room and picking up on the mood in the room without anybody saying a thing. That is your emotional intelligence, and specifically your recognition skill. And finally, of course, pay attention to your own emotions, all of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the ones that feel good and the ones that don't feel so good. It's important that we can identify and label how we feel. This is all part of the first step of being emotionally intelligent and is crucial. My second tip refers to the branch of using emotion. And here I want to encourage you to be more proactive with how you use your emotion in your day-to-day tasks. We know from lots of research that certain moods or emotions are useful for certain types of thinking and certain types of task. And so if we achieve a mood task match, we'll be much more effective in the task that we're doing. The research shows that positive moods such as happiness, contentment, joy, are useful for creative tasks, big picture tasks. For example, when you're trying to generate a new idea or new solution. The more difficult emotions, sometimes called negative emotions, like frustration, irritation, disappointment. These moods are useful for analytical and detailed tasks, perhaps checking your latest budget. So to be more proactive, we need to establish a mood task match before we start the task, rather than reacting when we're already halfway through. And if we have this mood task match, if we're in the right mood for the task that we're doing, we'll find it much easier to get through that task efficiently and effectively, and it will feel good while we're doing it. And secondly, within this area and this tip, make sure to apply this both when you're working alone and when you're working in groups. And you can even start to use the different moods of those in your group to help you to get different perspectives on the task that you're doing. My third tip is referring to the understanding emotion branch. And here I'd like you to get a better understanding and awareness of the causes of emotion, and ideally your personal causes of the main emotions that we feel. Identify what your common triggers are. You could do this by working backwards through your day. Perhaps you've had a hard day, you've come home and you're struggling with a difficult emotion. Think back to what just happened, what happened before then, what did you do, what had been occurring, to see if you can identify the triggers of that particular mood. Now, to help you with this, I'm going to share with you a really useful table that shows us the universal causes of emotion. And what this means is that regardless of where we are in the world, regardless of who we are as a person, the research shows that there is a universal uniting cause for each of these main emotions. And of course, these aren't an exhaustive list of all the emotions we feel, but they're the umbrella terms, if you like. So in the middle, we see a cause for each of the emotions on the left. Progress means that things are working out for you. Things are going the way that you want them to. Interference is almost like the opposite of that, that things are getting in the way of the progress that you want to make. Threat can be physical, psychological, or emotional. Loss, quite simply, when you've lost something that is important to you. And another simple one, offence, when you feel offended by something. Perhaps you're offended by a lack of fairness, for example. Now, to identify our individual cause, it's important that we understand our values. What is important to us? What drives us? What motivates us? For example, you might be experiencing an organisational change in your management structure at work, and this might make you feel like you are losing a sense of autonomy and control. And if that's important to you, then it could result in a feeling of sadness because you've lost something important to you that you value. So spend some time thinking about what is important to you in each of these areas and what your values are to help you to establish your personal causes of emotions. And when we do that, it helps us to much more easily manage our emotions effectively. And in fact, all the tips that I've talked about today will help you to do that, to recognize how you feel, to achieve that mood task match and to know what's caused those feelings. These are just 3 ways that you can improve your emotional intelligence. But if you'd like to understand your actual level of EQ or emotional quotient, you can do that by taking one of the tests we talked about earlier. I'll share with you here an example of how the Mesquite assessment works, what it is, what you get if you do undertake a Mesquite assessment, why you might do it, talking about all those benefits and the ways that you would apply emotional intelligence in your workplace and indeed at home. And finally, how to go about that. Now, because you've listened to this short video, I'd love to offer you a special 10% discount. Just get in touch with us and share this code to receive a 10% discount on the emotional intelligence assessment and on subsequent coaching sessions. This is a really great way to springboard your development in your management and leadership skills, your stress management, your general well-being, maybe your team management skills, or just personal development. It's a really fantastic and powerful way to gain insight and awareness and practical strategies that you can use to move forward into your development goals. If you'd like to find out more about emotional intelligence or our training and coaching, please do get in touch in one of the ways on the screen here. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon.